Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here a deck profile for my Cramorant deck. This is pretty much, I should say, one of my most favorite decks out there. So with that being said, I'm definitely very excited to showcase you guys what I have for my actual deck. But before we get started, I would like to remind you guys to drop a like, share, comment and subscribe if you can, or if you enjoyed this particular video, and also hit the bell notification as well. It definitely helps out a lot. But with that being said, I'm sure you guys are keen to see what's actually in this deck, so without further ado, let's begin. So starting off with the Pokemon, we're playing here 4 copies of our Cramorant. That goes without saying that it is definitely the key card, the main attacker of the deck, and it deals a whopping 240 damage for just double colorless. You attach your twin energy and you pretty much got yourself 240 damage as a potential amount. You could of course go for 180, you could go for 120, or you could go for 60, depending on what you're going up against. It works really well against both multi-prizer decks and also single prizer decks as well, and that's what I love about this particular deck here, is the flexibility to go for 2 different variations. However, with that being said, we're also playing here 4 copies of Arrokuda, definitely also very crucial for the deck. We are meant to obviously take this off the bench using Cramorant's continuous gold missile, and that would potentially give us the 240. Now, not many people would be playing this, but I am playing here 2 copies of Barraskewda. I do think that sometimes you won't have enough to slightly ping your opponent, so they might retreat. If they do retreat, you basically have a Barraskewda here, and all you need is 1 water energy, targeted skewer, and you could double the damage that they already have on their Pokemon in the bench, which would pretty much knock out their Pokemon. Absolutely fantastic, just really amazing to actually go for there as a nice backup option. And finally, we're going to be playing here 2 copies of the Jirachi Stellar Wish and 1 of the Dreamy Revelation. I think if I had my way, I'd probably play 2 copies of Dreamy Revelation and 1 copy of Stellar Wish. I think that might be a bit better in this situation. But with that being said, the Jirachis will definitely act as a really good loop for the deck itself. You could basically just empty out your deck, search out your entire deck using Jirachis, and it's quite amazing really. It works fantastically for the deck itself. Now moving on to item cards, we're going to be playing here 4 copies of Quick Ball, and also 2 copies of Level Ball, and also 2 copies here of Pokemon Communication. So this is the ratios that I'm actually going with here. I definitely love this particular ratio, just because Quick Ball is so essential. You search out any basic from your deck, so it makes sense that you're going for the Quick Ball. But at the same time, the Level Ball can search out all of your Arrokudas, which is also a fantastic search as well. But keep in mind, you also have Jirachis, so you could actually get started with your Jirachi combos. And of course, Pokemon Communication can then just switch out to the specific ones you actually need. I think by playing it in this particular sense, you don't have to play cards like Great Ball, which is more so a risky card that doesn't really get you what you need. However, those were Pokemon searches. For supporter searches, we're playing Pokegear 3.0. We essentially want to go for all of our supporters as soon as possible because they are very fast cards. In particular, we want to go for Nessa. So with that being said, playing 3 copies of these definitely doesn't hurt at all. Now, to actually utilize the Jirachi engine, you should be playing 4 copies here of Scoop Up Net and 4 copies here of your Switch. Definitely a very powerful combo, because with these 8 cards here plus the 3 Jirachi, you could essentially establish a loop, constantly searching for cards from your deck itself. It's really amazing, it's really fast for the deck, and you could really just empty through your entire deck in 1 turn really easily, and get you all your combo pieces. Additionally, just in case I need to retreat as a bit of an extra, I'm also playing here 2 copies of Air Balloon. Definitely works out really well for the deck as well, but 2 copies is more than enough. Overall, that's 10 cards to manipulate your active zone and your bench as well. Moving on here for a bit of manipulation of the board to gain control. We're playing here 2 copies of Pokemon Catcher. I just happen to have 2 different copies, but definitely really good here. I wish I could play 4 copies of it, but I'll explain why when we get to the next card later. But with that being said, we're also playing here Ordinary Rod, returning our cards back into our deck, sometimes our Arrokuda and our Cramorant, just so that we can research them again anyway. But yeah, it's definitely fantastic to play a card like that. Sometimes even the energies can go back. And of course, because we're using Nessa, we're so dependent on Nessa, we definitely want to be able to reuse her whenever we need. So with that being said, Power Pad is definitely a crucial card for the deck itself. Finally, for the items, we're just finishing off here with the Tool Scrapper, a really nice card. Sometimes your opponent is playing really pesky cards, Air Balloon, but otherwise Big Charm, a lot of things that really are quite annoying. So Tool Scrapper definitely helps out when we need it. Now moving on to supporters, we are obviously playing 4 copies of Nessa, a really crucial card for the deck itself, but we are playing 2 copies of Boss's Orders. Now I said that I'm playing only 2 copies of Pokemon Catcher and I wanted to bump it up to 4. Well, if I had 4 copies of Pokemon Catcher, I would take out both my Boss's Orders. The issue is with this deck, even though Boss's Orders is a guaranteed switch, the problem with this particular deck playing it is you're clogging up your deck with too many supporters. And since you're already playing 4 Nessa, most decks out there don't have to play Nessa, so they can fit in the Boss's Orders. But because we're playing the 4 Nessa, the Boss's Orders just adds in a lot of clunky room to the deck itself, and it just makes it quite messy, quite full. But we are playing here also 2 copies of Marnie. I think Marnie is definitely a little better than Boss's Orders because Marnie can also disrupt the opponent, but it also gets you the cards that you could potentially need as well. And this deck does definitely do a bit of struggles when it comes to getting the cards you specifically need, because there are quite a few cards out there that won't apply until your combos are necessary when the time comes. But for the final supporters, we're going to be playing here 4 copies of the Professor's Research. Again, just a really good card. This is the one you want to play 4 copies of aside from Nessa, because you want to draw into your cards as quick as possible. And yes, even if you have Nessa in the hand, you can activate Professor's Research, discarding the Nessa. That's why we're playing the Power Pad, to return the Nessas discarded from your Research, because Research is meant to get you all the cards you actually need for your plays. Now moving on to Energy, of course we are playing 4 copies of Twin Energy, a really crucial card, a really important card, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But of course I'm also playing here the 1 copy of Capture Energy, gets your cards to the bench as quickly as possible, but I'm playing 1 for now. You might play 2, but because it's not a Water Energy, it doesn't apply as well because Nessa wants to bring back Water Energy as well. So because of that, I'm just going to be playing here 4 copies of the basic Water Energy. I would not play any kind of special Water Energy in any sort of way because Nessa can't add them back. Nessa can only add back basic Water Energy. That's why we're playing at least 4 copies of them. Not to mention, they fit specifically for the Barraskewda as well. However, with that being said, this was pretty much it for the whole deck profile, so I do hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely leave me your thoughts as to what you think about all of this. But with that being said, I do thank you guys for actually joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.